Hey brand builders, I'm your host Gigi, CEO and founder of the Area Vista Planner, and today we are taking a walk through the entrepreneurial jungle with CEO and founder Dionna Greene of Bold and Beautiful Coffee Bar. And I'm telling you right now, you are not going to want to miss this, because per usual, we are going to let our guards down, serve truth up, and stand on business, the good, the bad, and the better as we discuss today's hot topic, redefining yourself in business, moving from background to center stage. Are you ready? Let's go. Hey brand builders, so as promised, I am here with CEO and founder Dionna Greene. Can we clap it up for her? Yes! And she is the CEO and founder of Bold and Beautiful Coffee Bar. And bold and beautiful she is, yes!
Thank you, Grace.
So thank you for coming. Thank you for taking a walk with us through the entrepreneurial jungle. There's so much to talk about, and we're going to get right into it, okay?
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. So we're excited because your brand is so unique. But before we jump into your brand story, we're going to play a game.
Okay.
Because we always say the podcasting streets is full of strangers. Your followers know you, your customers know you, but we have to let them get to know you. Okay?
Absolutely.
Yes. So we're going to play a game. It's called 30 Under 30.
Okay.
Okay. So you're going to have up to 30 seconds to answer 30 questions.
Okay.
Okay. And the winner of this season gets a prize at the end.
Sounds good.
So I think our top competitors at like 10. I think you can beat 10.
I think I can
You ready?
handle it. Yes.
Okay. So you ready? We about to play. We about to cue it in. All right, producers, are we ready? Okay. Hometown.
Washington, D.C.
Chocolate or vanilla?
Vanilla.
Middle name.
Kimberly.
Favorite teacher?
Miss Lytle.
Food adventure. Favorite adventure?
Skydiving.
Favorite food?
Tacos.
City or beach?
Beach.
Favorite movie?
Set it off.
R&B or neo soul?
Oh, R&B.
Favorite color?
Green.
Birth order?
January 14, 1985.
Which order do you fall in your siblings?
Oh, second to youngest.
Favorite movie?
Set it off.
I said that. Favorite animal?
Panda.
Favorite TV show? You got it. Go ahead, tell us.
Cosby's.
You did good. You did good. Okay. So, how do you feel?
I feel great.
Yes.
The one with skydiving, was it something I want to do or have done?
That you have done.
Oh, I have a scratcher because I haven't done that.
That's
I want
okay.
to do
You on
that.
your way to doing
Okay,
it though.
okay.
She finna do it. Okay. She's about to do it. So, Dionna, now I was so excited when we began to speak because I think that your brand is so interesting.
Thank you.
Usually, and this is no knock to anyone, we see a lot of the same things often.
Right.
But to come out with a product that's really in competition with our, Starbucks and whoever, Pete's Coffee, I don't know. I'm not a huge coffee drinker, but I'm about to turn into one. Okay.
Yes.
Let's talk about how you decided to take a foray into this entrepreneurial jungle. How was it birthed?
Well, like many other businesses, Grace, this was birthed out of the pandemic. I actually was one who had COVID and was in isolation. My husband and myself at the time. So I wanted to come up with an additional source of income. My income was secure because I'm also a police dispatcher, but my husband's was not. So actually, believe it or not, I watched this Netflix documentary called She's Gotta Have It or She's or that, something along the lines, but it was
The
about...
Spike Lee one?
Maybe that's not it.
Okay.
But
okay.
It was along the lines of female entrepreneurship.
Okay.
So I watched that and I kind of got inspired along with having a major support team that believed in me. My best friend actually was like, you can do it. You can do it. I mean, you got this.
Yes.
So I actually prayed and wanted to, figure out where God wanted to take me. I am a believer.
Amen.
Shout out to the believer.
As we are, period.
So I'm a believer, so I wanted him to guide me. I didn't want to just jump into anything because I believe once he gives you the vision, then he'll have to execute the vision.
Absolutely.
So here we are with coffee. I believe I started to see all things coffee, coffee signs and coffee this and coffee that. And I believe I heard the Lord say coffee.
Yes.
So here I am celebrating 3 years, April 9th of this year.
Yes,
and
anniversary.
it's been an amazing journey.
I think that's phenomenal. Especially, so were you a huge coffee aficionado? Like, is that how he spoke to you? Like, how did he say coffee?
And no, because I did, before this launching the business, coffee wasn't my thing. I would have never gone to a restaurant to get coffee. I'm not going to Starbucks for coffees.
Right.
I am a pastry girl, so I'm going to get your pastries.
We love a sweet.
We love a
Okay.
sweet.
Okay.
So I think so many people around me love coffee, and I am a fast learner. I always want to learn new things. So I believe he felt like I could be in this field, this industry, because I'll research, I'll try this and try that. So here I am, and now there are certain coffee roasts that I love. Mine's, of course,
first and foremost.
First and foremost. So there are coffee roasts that I love and that I will try when I go out to eat now, along with my pastry. So it's coffee, all things coffee for me these days.
I love it. So there are a few takeaways that I got from that. Number one, your support system, brand builders, is important. Okay, you have to keep real ones around you who are going to be honest, who are going to encourage you, and who are going to have your back and propel you forward, right?
Absolutely.
Because as you said, your best friend said, girl, you can do it.
You can do
and that's basically a kind of along the lines of the conversation that we're going to have today, right? So when you have a business, some people have, our personalities differ. Some people are extremely extroverted. Some are more, low-key, more introverted. But irregardless of how it is that you have been, when you step into the field of entrepreneurship, any business, you have to find a way to go from the background, right? To center stage. Let me see the jazz hands, everybody. Okay, you got to... You have to find a way to propel yourself forward. And I think what's so interesting is in our initial conversations is the way that you have been able to take all the things that you have done in your career and apply that to your business. So take us through what that has looked like for you, because you have first of all, tell us about your career. It's very interesting.
So on top of being CEO and founder of Bold and Beautiful Coffee Bar, I am also a 911 dispatcher. And of course it's requires much of you. You have to be able to balance your home life, that work life, because the days are long. The days can go beyond your normal hours, just depending on staffing and things like that. But I have to speak to people all day. I have to, navigate them through some of the most horrifying times of their lives. And I think this has what helped me come from backstage. Because as you remember, Grace, I was telling you that I am one that helps behind. I never wanted to be up front. If anything I can do to push you, I got you from back. I don't want to be seen. I don't want to be heard. But now people need to hear me. They need to hear instruction. They need to hear my calmness. They need to hear me, being settled when everything around them is chaotic. So that helps me now, even with doing this. I am not gonna lie, I was a little nervous coming in.
But let me tell you something.
Listen, I feel so comfortable now because it's almost like it's a natural now.
I was gonna say, the thing is, there's so many applicable skills. Like, even when she came in here, listen, you wouldn't have thought. Okay, she came in here cool, prepared. Everything was ready. She sat down, said, "Let me get my mic." She was just ready to go because this is what she does. So I think in my mind, I can see what the skills are. But if you can give me the top 3 skills that you've taken from your career as an emergency 911 dispatcher and how they've related to entrepreneurship, you touched on one, but give me just 3.
Discipline.
Oh, I like that.
Kindness. Consistency.
Discipline, kindness, and consistency. And I'm gonna keep digging in. I'm gonna dig a little deeper. Tell me how discipline actually correlates to entrepreneurship.
Because with entrepreneurship, you have to be focused. You have to be able to see what the vision is and stick to it. There are so many distractions, so many things that would get myself off course, but I don't let those things distract me. I stick to what my vision is, even though, some days it's a little tougher, Grace. Some days it takes a little more, but I'm still sticking with it. I'm still focused, and I'm still maintaining that posture of discipline.
So we have discipline, so you hear it, all right? Because the thing is, no one's going to tell you what to do. You are your own boss. So if you don't make your own moves, you're short. So that discipline needs to be intrinsic. And if it's not intrinsic, you got to learn that thing quickly, or else you're not going anywhere.
Right. And it's almost like, we want the results without putting in the work.
Oh, say that one again for the people in the back.
So I am sold on, based on the results that I want will require a certain work ethic from me.
we could really stop here. Because it sounds so simple, right? Like A and B equals C. We get it, but people really don't.
They don't.
And so I think it's really, really important to always go back and refresh and ask yourself these questions and ask how you can be better and look at the areas in which you fall short to apply that discipline.
Absolutely.
So that's a win for you, friends. Put a star and write that down.
Put a pen in it.
Please. Next, we have kindness. Listen, we really learned that as kids, right?
Yes.
Be nice to Johnny. Be nice to Sally. But some of y'all not so nice. So talk about kindness and how that correlates to business ownership.
Well, kindness is a big deal for me. Just to give you a little bit of backstory, even growing up, I watched my grandmother, like, she kissed everybody, hugged everybody.
Yes.
Her entire life, she just showed this certain level of kindness, despite her health challenges, despite how rough the days got. She was kind. And I think that spilled into me because even now in entrepreneurship, although all consumers aren't kind and they expect you to be perfect, there shouldn't be any mistakes. Yeah. They don't show kindness all the time. But my response is always kindness. It's always customer service, top tier. You know what I mean?
What tier is it?
Top tier.
The top.
Top
the tippy
tier.
top.
So I'm always showing that even no matter what their responses are, I'm going to be kind. I'm sorry, I messed up this order. Right. Here's a 15% off your next order. Right. My apologies. So I think that's important in entrepreneurship. Yes. We can't react based on the consumer's response.
Correct.
It's just, I can't.
No.
Not something I believe in.
I think that you're 100% correct. I also think that when people own businesses, right? Like it's your baby, essentially. Absolutely. And so there is a level of
it's a certain reputation you want it to have.
Exactly. And I think it's often missed though because people have this an unusual emotional attachment to it. Right. So if something goes wrong and someone says something, they feel personally attacked. Yes. And so then it comes out as being unkind. But we need to remember that even though it is your baby, it's a business. And as you're saying, the reputation that it has is going to precede you and you're either going to be flourishing because of it or you're not. So,
And it was one time, it took one of those times, you ever seen the memes where it says you write a whole paragraph, but then let me delete it. Right? Let me delete it. Yes. Because sometimes I'm on fire based on what they're saying to me.
Oh, I know.
I'm a backspace. Yep, let's go back, and I'll respond later. Sometimes it just takes stepping away
and coming back.
And
we're gonna come for them too, because we have another segment where we get deep into. We're gonna talk about it. But yes, for sure, 100%. I like that. So kindness, taking a step back, assessing, and then readdressing. So that's good. And the last one was consistency. Talk to my people in the back about consistency.
You have to show up, whether no one else does, whether the revenue is consistent and then just stops. The work you were showing up for, the consistency you were given when the money was coming in, you have to show up when you're not getting any sales. And that's going to set you apart. And if you're doing it for the money, it's not going to work.
And
it's not going to work.
And that's it.
That's one of the things that I learned is that this became a passion for me. So when I came into it, yes, I said I wanted an additional source of income, but it stretched beyond that within these 3 years. It became something that I enjoy. Yes. We all know we do things and stick to things that we enjoy.
Yes. So I think that you've brought this element of from background to center stage. I think you've really brought it to the forefront in this because even though the intentions were still honorable, right? Like it's good. You want to find, and we all should have at least 4 or 5, if you can, streams of income. It took on it became part of your purpose.
Absolutely.
So what does that look like in terms of redefining just the way that you looked at the business, the way that you were always approaching it with pristine top tier professionalism, but how that has pushed you to kind of take the space and own, what it is that you're doing now?
It helped decrease the fear. It helped me realize that nothing is off limits for me, that I am just as qualified as the next.
I love that.
So there's for example, if it's an event that I see that I want to apply to and it lists the requirements, it's no longer, well, I don't have that. I'm still applying. I mean, the worst, it's going to be a yes or no. Facts. But I'm still going to show up and say, I'm applying and I'll wait for your response. I'm just jumping out there, Grace. Yeah. I'm jumping. And I'm not scared anymore.
Oh, So come on, say goodbye to fear. We don't have a spirit of fear, but a power and a love and of a sound mind, okay? So we're going to eat up any challenge that comes our way. So I'm with it. So we talked a bit about your customer service aspect, how it's propelled you forward. And one thing that you talked about is the need for good customer service. So I'm on the fence. I'm like, should we talk about it now or should we slide right into umbrella? Should we put a tidbit in it now or you want to touch on it?
Let's do a tidbit.
Okay. So I want you to tell me, well, no, you gave us that. Let's hold on. Let's hold off. We're going to give it to him later. Let's talk about scheduling. Okay, because the consistency piece also speaks to the manner in which you approach your business and the time that it takes. You are a busy woman. You've got a full-time career, a family. How are you juggling those things? Or what processes do you have in place in your personal life to allow for you to attack this business full throttle?
So I think now I've had some significant changes in my personal life. So it has taught me to prioritize me, and that's just all things attached to me.
Yes.
From my career to Bold and Beautiful to my family to my friends, and I'm learning to not put me on the back burner. Like I am pouring back into me as much as I am giving to my job, my family, my friends, Bold and Beautiful.
Yes.
And I think prioritization is important. Yes, my 9 to 5 is a lot of my time.
Yes.
But I know that I still want my customer service to be a certain time. So I'm making sure that even if I can't do this with my mom today, or I can't do this with my friends today, I have to do work and I want to get these orders out because I want them to have these orders at a certain time. It's all about prioritization. And sometimes you got to put off some things we might want to do so that we can do what's needed.
And I think that is a struggle for a lot of entrepreneurs because it is lonely.
Yes.
When people are not involved in this kind of work, they don't understand why you can't come to this, why you can't come to that, why I can't be on the phone with you all hours of the night, why if I catch you, I'm driving to the office or I'm going to drive to the post office to get my orders out. It's just a different level of commitment that if you just, and there's no knock to anyone who has a regular, 9 to 5, but you just don't understand. So what does that practically look like for maybe a fledgling entrepreneur who's just getting started? Is that sitting down in your, like creating a schedule for yourself? Like, what does that look like for someone who wants to take the steps to do that?
I think it's finding your rhythm. I think it's finding what works best. I think it's going to take trial and error. You know what I mean? I think it's a matter of, like, for example, I know that my days are from 7 to 7. So I know that I get up at 5:45. I want at least 6 hours of sleep. I know that's not a lot. So if I'm working from 7 to 7, I'm usually home by 7:30. I'm going to do Bold and Beautiful stuff from 7:45 to 9:30, just so that I am on track. Even if it's just me adding it daily, I am still on track. I am able to run to the post office during my work hours. So I'll usually do my packaging stuff at night and during my break at work, I'll go and drop it at the post office. You have to find your rhythm.
Yes.
You have to find what works for you because what works for me might not work for you.
Else,
a family that has kids and this, that, and the other, you have kids sports. So you just got to find out your judge.
So what I'm hearing, and maybe because I'm, the Era Vista planner, queen mother, I don't know. But what I'm hearing is you're backwards planning, literally.
Right.
Like, I know that I want a certain amount of sleep. I know that if I want to do that, I've got to get up at this time. I know I've got to commute to work. I know my day is from 7 to 7. I know that I have to dedicate at least an hour and a half, 2 hours to my business every single day. So building that in a way in which you can create a rhythm. You got to create it before you can find it. So some people, they just, they just fly by the seat of their pants.
So I know I want to do 3 miles at least 4 days a week.
So I think really what you're saying is really identifying what your most important goals are and creating a schedule that fits into that. So those are the things I would say all of our new entrepreneurs, fledgling entrepreneurs, anybody who's looking at it, if you know that you're someone who is not taking the time to actually create a schedule for yourself, that is really, really imperative that you do.
That's what it is, yep.
Because if you don't find an allocation for your time, the time is just going to waits for no one.
It's going to waste for no one.
It's
and one
fly.
of the most important things I can share, Grace, to the upcoming entrepreneur is that work hard now so that your latter days are easy. Put in the work now.
Yes.
Miss out on some things now so that come years from now, you're like, oh, I already did that. I'm sitting back now.
That's
I can
right.
relax.
I can come to every baby shower and
I
eat those
can come
meatballs.
to every baby shower,
Okay.
even for baby number 3.
Right. I can take that trip. I can do
take
whatever
it,
I have to
yeah.
do. Yes, I can take my long lunch.
Absolutely.
Because I work for myself.
Because I work for myself.
And someone else is taking the packages, right? Yes. That's what we want.
That's what we want.
So we have to sacrifice. So for all of our brand builders, I sincerely hope you have your notepad and that all the things that Dionna just talked about, that you have written them down, and you're not going to start them tomorrow. Absolutely not. You're going to start today. Okay? Hey, Aravistas, Gigi here. When I think about the journey of life, I think about all of the beautiful and amazing experiences that we share, as well as the challenges that shape us. Both can lead to a shift in our aspirations, planning, and perspective. In short, our experiences have the ability to mold and push us toward our purpose. And that, Aravistas, is our focus for the 2025 Renew Collection. Renewal is about releasing past failures and disappointments while embracing a future filled with hope and possibilities. I am beyond excited to debut our 2025 Renew Collection and take this journey with you as we renew our minds, bodies, and spirits. Are you ready? I know I am. Happy planning. So you've touched on at least 7 good things, right, that I think are awesome. So I want you to tell us how, if for someone who feels like they're more shy, for someone who feels like they're more introverted, who doesn't really see themselves as that person who is at the forefront, the spokesperson of their business, how is it that you can go from that mindset to, I'm fearless, here I am?
I think, well, I know that I was so comfortable being backstage is because I didn't think I was enough. I didn't think I was capable. I didn't think that I could. So I would always assist with whoever, pushing them out. I am actually COO of my aunt's business, and everything that she
multiple
needs,
hats.
everything that she needs, I operate from behind the scenes.
Okay.
You know, and I feel comfortable that I felt comfortable in that space my whole life, right? So it honestly didn't, it took some personal changes in my life to make me feel like I was enough, that I was capable, that you can do this. So here I am coming from working behind the scenes to like, oh, I'm out front. This bold and beautiful, and I'm giving it all I have.
That's amazing. So I think we all face different ebbs and flows in our life, challenges, whatever have you. What is it that allowed you, though, to take that and turn what could be negative or a challenge into something that told you, you know what, I am enough? I think that's what people, that's like the middle ground people struggle. Like, what do you think did it for you?
One of my favorite scriptures is that God says that no weapon form, or even if the weapon forms, it's not going to prosper. So even if I get a little fearful, or even if I get a little anxious, that I can, and he's given me the space to. I believe that all things happen which he allows. So if he's given me this vision, if he's given me the space to operate in it, the strength to operate in it, then it has to take me places. So here I'm just stepping out. I'm just letting him guide me at the end of the day, Grace. I'm just following with where he takes me.
So what I'm hearing is faith.
Faith. And I had to pray. My prayer was, God, please increase my faith. It wasn't always like that. Please increase my faith. Please, God, help me, believe that it is possible, even if he doesn't allow it. That's what's key. Yep. I believe that it can be, even if he doesn't allow it to be.
Yes.
So I just stand on that. I stand on my word, and I stand on my support and believing in myself.
So what I'm hearing, friends, is that if you haven't gotten your Bible recently, you want to do that. Okay, you can't recall the scriptures if it's not there. You can't apply it to your life if you don't know what they are. So I think that it's also important. I think full transparency is important to bring all of yourself into your business.
Absolutely,
and your faith is part of that, and that's what makes you who you are. That's what gives you your strength. That's what allows you to take what could be seen as a negative circumstance,
absolutely,
and see that it works out for your good. So
you said something so important. You have to give all of yourself into it.
Well,
Put a pin in
There
that,
we-
y'all. Put a pin.
Put a star
Put a
circle
pin
and
in it.
highlight it. We did that. Okay. We could go now.
We-
But I hear they want more, so we're going to give them a little bit more. Okay. So we talked about how Bold and Beautiful was birthed. We talked about how you move from background to center stage. Now, and we talked about a little bit. Now we're going to talk about one of our favorite segments because, sometimes we're a little shady.
Mm-hmm.
Umbrella.
Can be a little shady. It's been dark.
All right. So, listen, umbrella only because, we bring in, we got to be honest. And as entrepreneurs, sometimes all we see is the pretty pictures on our Instagram feed. All we see is the cute stories, I did this, I did that. But our businesses are successful because of our customers. And
Absolutely.
as Dionna already said, sometimes our customers can be a little difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And it's important because we want to be able to give all of those who are watching and listening the tools to be successful as you're starting or even continuing. So can you give us an example or maybe a theme that has been maybe recurrent that you've noticed in customers that are difficult and how you handled that and why you handle with such poise and such love and such kindness?
Well, first and foremost, I handle it with love and kindness because I want them to come back. I want them to be a returning customer. There was one particular time where I am usually outside with Bold and Beautiful. We sign up for events. We're usually outside several weekends a month.
In the actual physical elements?
Yes. Like
okay.
in the elements.
Okay.
Winter, spring, summer, fall, we are outside.
Mm-hmm.
If I can be a little transparent, most of our revenue come from being outside. So my godson usually helps me and we go outside, and because sometimes our days run together, we don't have enough time to track the inventory for what's being outside from based on what the numbers say online. So this young lady ordered, and he actually set aside the wrong item for her. So it delayed her order. So I sent her an email saying, we apologize. I'm going to get your order right to you as soon as we can. Here's a code for your next order. And she just was just like, well, it's been 2 days and this, that, and the other. And I'm just like, okay, my apologies, still remain kind. And I responded, gave her updates when we were sending it out. Everything flowed. And she just still just kept responding negatively. Okay, so I got your order out. Here's the tracking information. I even included this outside of the discount code. I even included this. I hope you enjoy it. So I guess my kindness rubbed her the good way, because she then later responded saying, thank you so much. This is amazing. I'll be back.
Oh, will you? You know who you are.
Oh, will you?
Oh, will you? Now you'll be back, huh? That freebie did it, huh? Okay.
Hello?
Now, I heard a couple of things, and I really, 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 that's why I had to say it a couple of times. I want our entrepreneurs to hear this. Number one, you were proactive. You didn't wait for blank to hit the fan before you sent an email or let her send the email.
Nope.
She was proactive. Okay, I know the inventory is XYZ. This was set aside. Okay, I might have to go source some more. Right. Let me go out of it's not out of your way. That's part for the course. Like, that's part of what we do as business owners. Listen, ma'am, sir, this is what happened. I'm just letting you know.
Letting you know.
Okay, that was the first thing I heard. So proactivity is important. The next thing was, this person kept trying to needle you by emailing you with negativity constantly. If you've been in business long enough, that is bound to happen at least once or twice. I promise you.
Put a pin.
You could be selling a paperclip. This paperclip is in the right shade of gold as it was last year. It's always going to be something. People are just like that.
Right.
And sometimes I feel as if they take whatever's going on with them,
they
don't see you.
Out.
Yeah,
right.
It's an opportunity to just let out whatever emotions they're going through. So what you did, though, was you remained consistent and you remained true to your mission.
In my response, yes, ma'am.
In your response. And then to even hit the nail on the head, what did you do again with her package?
I added something additional along with the discount code.
And the discount code. So, that is top tier. You're better than me. Because you're getting one or the other, but I like what you did there. I'm going to have to take a note. So first of all, take notes. What did the lady say at the end?
Thank you. This was amazing. And I'll be back.
sometimes you have to just eat it. That adage of the customer is always right, it's not true. They're not. But the thing is,
That's another pin. It's not true.
it's not at all. But we have to do what we have to do to make
Absolutely.
sure they return. Some will, and they'll be kind, and some won't.
Absolutely.
And that's okay. But I think that all the things that you said, if people take the time to do those things, they will see far better returns than they may be seeing now.
Absolutely.
If they do those things. Another thing that I heard was we're calling outside, but it's vending, right? So she said most of her revenue comes from vending. And I think all entrepreneurs, we talk about it all the time. That's what this platform is for. Vendmae is to create a platform to allow you to be able to source, identify, and book events that are going to increase your bottom line. Talk to me about how vending has been an integral part of your business.
It is definitely a huge part of the business. Vending, we have been to tons of events. We currently have about 13 lined up between now and the new year. There are certain events that we automatically go back to because they treat us amazing.
Yes.
And some, if it's your first time there, you just see how it goes. But what I think is key is that you have to figure out your audience. You can't just sign up for all the events.
It's not, they're all not for you.
They're not. And we have also learned that, you have to figure out your audience. And that is what's important.
Do you have any strategies outside of trial and error? Because we all know that it can be expensive too.
Like research. Check the event's history, see if what they're saying is actually lining up. And we do that a lot of times with their Instagram page. Instagram is like a portfolio for everybody. So most things go on Instagram. We look at their Instagram page, research, the event, just things like that. See if anyone's familiar with them.
And asking around.
One of the most popular events is coming up, September, is the 8th Street Festival. And that's one of our favorites. And we didn't do last year because it was another event, but we did the year before, and it was amazing. But we know the history behind them.
Right.
It's happening. Thousands of people will be there, and that is our audience.
So I've been hearing so many things the whole interview, not just because Dionna is talking, but because they're gems that are being dropped. But your ability to research, I know that as an entrepreneur, like when you're a new entrepreneur, sometimes you have FOMO. I don't want to miss out. This could be good. Sometimes
and that was us.
Yeah. And then you can end up losing more than you're gaining because you just want to make sure you're there.
Right.
And sometimes it is good because you may meet people.
Absolutely.
But the time that you take to research and do your legwork will really serve to be beneficial with you in the end. And one thing that we're excited about at Vendmae is that we're going to make that a one-stop shop for you. You have to go in all those places. The history is going to be right there on the platform. Right, so as soon as it's up, you're going to be able to do all that, book all that, and go on your vending way. So thank you for sharing that. Yeah,
and one more thing, Grace. Yes. One thing we have to realize as entrepreneurs that even with the vending events, you have to determine if it's worth it.
Yes.
You have, the legwork, the setup, the breakdown, the fee for the events.
I know.
Because most events, if I can put it this way, that are worth going to, for us, are like $500.
Facts.
So we have to determine, is it worth the fee, the gas we're taking?
And
most of them are all day, the parking, the legwork.
You won't be on your feet.
So you have to determine if it's worth it. At the beginning, we were like, we want to go. We don't want to miss out. But when the day ended and we didn't get the feedback, at least, you got to reevaluate.
That's a fact. It's always important to check your books. At the end of the day, men lie, women lie. What doesn't lie? The numbers. Okay? So you got to make sure, you need to make sure those numbers make sense. I love it. So now we're talking about numbers. We're going into our next segment called In the Red. Okay? So listen, let's talk about it because as we said before, oftentimes entrepreneurs the full transparency is not there. All we see is the feed and where I'm going to be, but what's going on your spreadsheet can really be tragic.
Absolutely.
So talk to us, because you're 3 years old. Talk to us about a time when you were in the red.
I think, research has shown that, starting up, you don't make a lot of money. And I am a witness that is factual. Starting a business, I have put out a significant amount more than I have got or received back. So I've been in the red before for sure, but it's a matter of me getting the inventory that I need.
Yes.
You know, we're still being a small business. Things are still higher. So,
Especially
and
now with inflation.
absolutely, especially if you're not going into the business with a lump sum. You know, I literally started Bold and Beautiful with the extra that I had left from my 9-to-5 check. So just putting in, you know what I mean? So I was in the red first year, second year. We are just starting to see a little traction now, if I'm being honest. Not significant, but I believe, or research has said, you don't start to make a significant amount or enough until like year 5 or 6.
You took the stat right out of my mouth. That's a fact. So I want people to not be discouraged.
Right.
I think that is, it's just a common misconception that like everything's going to be fine when you first jump out there.
And it's not.
And it's not. A lot of entrepreneurs are bootstrapping, whether you're taking your own personal savings or you're taking out small loans for your business, whatever the case may be. I don't think people take into account all of the different costs.
All of the different costs.
Your LLCing, right? You've got to get
you
your
have
website
monthly
up.
expenses, your
Thank you.
website,
Thank
your
you.
QuickBooks,
Thank
your
you.
shop, you know, the Shopify,
Yes.
the business insurance.
Yes.
It's all things that we have to pay monthly on top of inventory.
Yes.
And inventory has been one of our main challenges just because our inventory is so much. So it takes a great portion, a good bulk of income just to get the coffee alone.
Wow. You know, I just find it so fascinating. So how is, if you don't mind, I know we're a little off topic, but how is the coffee sourced? Like, how is all of that put together? Like, I just think it's so interesting
I
to
have
me.
a partner that I currently work with who sources the beans from a couple amazing countries across the world.
You're international, girl. Tell us.
Countries
Oh, is
across
it
the
secret?
world. Sort of.
Oh, okay. Never mind. We don't give trade secrets.
I will say that our new roast, one's from Ethiopia, one's a Guatemalan roast. But the sources,
Oh, yeah, we can't tell that.
can't tell those.
No.
But yeah, those, when you deal with a source or suppliers, you know, you are meeting their numbers. So the benefit is, in most cases, you are buying wholesale.
Yes.
If you're not making something yourself,
Yeah.
you know, you have to buy wholesale, but it can be a little costly still because you still need a certain number.
Yes. And then even the packaging of it, because the packaging is beautiful.
The packaging.
So
it's a whole nother, you know, graphic artist. You got to pay for your label. So
yeah,
it's a lot financially.
Yes.
And like I said, if you don't have, you know, the income up front, you are almost like nickel and diming.
Yeah, no.
You know, you're taking the leftover from your regular check after your regular responsibilities.
Yep.
But, you know, when it becomes something you love, you make it work. You figure it out. You work a little extra at your regular job. You know?
Yep. And then when you're a multimillionaire.
How about
Pen? Then who's going to remember these hard times?
Who?
In the red what? What does that mean? We're only in the black.
Yes.
That's it. So what are you talking about?
Absolutely.
So I just want our entrepreneurs to not be discouraged. You're not the only one. We're all doing it. We're all trying to figure out whether it's packaging, graphic design, and like you said, your monthly website fees, your vending fees on top of that, your gas, your parking, getting out there, all of it. The food that you have to eat when you're there because you're there all day. All of it. So just be encouraged. You will get through. All right. So I want to talk about that. Now, we're talking about our next segment because we know we're removing the veil of entrepreneurship. We're keeping it a stack. Okay.
Absolutely.
So sometimes we run into situations where we can just be down bad in business. And sometimes it's a decision that we made. Maybe we forecasted something that didn't happen. Or it was an unforeseen circumstance, right? It could be suppliers, it could be packaging, it could be, you know, we've heard things from like somebody snatched their Instagram, you know, it could be anything. So give us a scenario where you just kind of were down bad in business.
I can give you, so one of our most recent challenges was we lost our coffee supplier. Our original supplier, we lost.
That's serious business.
Who I've had the first 2 years, and they just abruptly changed policy without notifying us. Okay. So I basically had to start from scratch. I had to find another graphic artist. I had to do taste samples from other suppliers. So that discouraged me a bit because it took months. This was from January. Literally, my new supply came in maybe the beginning of June.
Okay.
So all that time, I'm like, I'm calling myself a coffee business, but don't have any coffee.
Girl.
So I had to kind of pivot. You know, I was discouraged, but I was just like, I only can do what I can do.
Yes.
Right, Grace? So we researched. We had more taste samples from other suppliers, and we finally locked one in June, and I was elated.
Yes.
But it's like you just never know with entrepreneurship. You just never know. Everything doesn't always go on task.
Listen.
And you have to be prepared to pivot when something happens.
Yes.
Not shut down, not quit. I can honestly say that was a thought. But you work too hard, and there will be challenges.
Yes. And I you speaking to my soul. Let me tell you, I'm like, girl, we can stay on this for about 5, 10, 15 minutes because I was just having a conversation today with someone about this. It seems to me that it's almost as if you have to be comfortable with the transience of I don't want to say people in the business, but different aspects of the business. Whether it is, your graphic designer, whether it is your supplier, whether it is the person who handles, I don't know, your packaging. Right. Because the thing is, we don't know what's going to happen to any of those people at any given time.
We don't.
So being able to, as you said, pivot and turn on a dime and not give up and say, my supplier's gone. I'm done. No. Now you have to okay, now I have to lean in. Right.
And I got to figure out my next route.
Yeah. Because the business doesn't stop. I just got to figure out. How am I going to continue to fulfill my vision and my mission? And what do I have to do to bring it to the forefront? Because at the end of the day, our faith carries us through. If he gave us the vision,
he gonna give us what we need to execute it. I'm just standing on that. 10 toes down.
That's it. Yes, that's a fact. So, and I think that's bringing us to our next place. So now we're coming full circle, right? So there are times when, yes, we are down bad. There are times when we look and we see red, okay? There are times when our customers can be very challenging.
Right.
All right? But I want you to tell me and tell them why it is that you continue to push your brand with the love and the tenacity in which you do. Your why.
I think it's simple. My why is I want something to call my own. I have helped so many other people, Grace. I have pushed so many other people that I love, people that could count on me, and I'm definitely showing up because they've been my rock, my support. So my why is I want to be able to have something I call my own.
As you should. As you should. So listen, even if we have, so listen, this was amazing. I think there was so many good tidbits, so many gems. They weren't even just regular gems. These were diamonds and rubies. I hope you got them all, guys, because they were really, really great that you're going to be able to apply to your business. But let's talk a little bit about those who are watching and they want to go ahead and cop some coffee and some tea. Tell me a little bit more about all the different blends because this is all new to me.
Yes.
So tell me everything.
So with our latest roast, we just added 3 new roasts. One is a Guatemalan roast, an Ethiopian, and a Sadamu roast. Flavorful.
Sadamu?
It's along the Ethiopian lines as well. It's
very
flavorful.
Sexy.
They are tasty, less acidic, and satisfying to your taste buds. We just added it. So I challenge you or dare you to jump on board. It's going to be amazing. It's amazing. Along with the 3 roasts, we are all things all encompassing coffee. So we have so many things on our website. We just didn't want to be a coffee business. Everyone doesn't drink coffee, so we have added teas, and we wanted to kind of set ourselves apart. We have a coffee bar inspired candle collection where the top seller is a honey lavender latte, and it is amazing. We have branded merch, so check us out.
As
guys.
She's wearing now.
Check us out. Like I said, you have to, what you are doing, you have to love. You have the joy. You have the joy about it. So we are doing great.
And what I really like is that you took what could be considered like your one idea, but look how it's blossomed, right? So we have the teas, we have all the accessories, we have our branded merch, we have the candles. Like that is, it's like you've taken something that is a drink and elevated it to an experience.
Absolutely. And one more point, I think it's important in entrepreneurship. You have to get your crew, if I can use that
Mm-hmm.
word. You have to get your business buddies. Like I
Yeah.
have so many that hold me down. Like,
Yeah.
you know, my business friends have now become my personal friends.
Mm-hmm.
And we have like an amazing network. Like we are always helping each other.
Mm-hmm.
We're sending each other events. We are bouncing ideas.
Off of one
So I
another.
think that's what important. You have to find your entrepreneurial
Community. Yep.
community.
Yep. That's another thing. So some of those friends you're going to have to put to the wayside, okay? You're going to need to get some business besties where you're able to actually have conversations about not what somebody wore, not who somebody's dating, okay?
Pen.
But how are we going to get to this bag, okay?
How are we going to get to, pen.
Right? That's what we need to be talking about.
Absolutely.
The conversations need to be constructive. So I think that's phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's that's a 10th thing we talked about today that we can take, write down, put a star, the whole 9 yards, highlight it. It's important. I say it all the time. It's important. It is important. So listen, that is all the time we have for today. I just want to say, Dionna, you have been phenomenal. You have walked us through the entrepreneurial jungle. We got our boots on. We have some gems. We got some good tools, and we're going to go forward. We're going to actually use them. So let us know where we can find you. Let us know what we have to look forward to. Drop the website for us so we can follow, subscribe, support, whatever we got to do.
Okay, cool. Hey guys. So listen, again, I am Dionna Greene of Bold and Beautiful Coffee Bar, CEO and founder of Bold and Beautiful. You are tuned in to Vendmae Brand Builders Podcast, and you can find us at website Bold and Beautiful Coffee Bar, on Instagram and Facebook at Bold and Beautiful Coffee Bar. All things, all social media outlets. We are also on TikTok, not as active, but we are on TikTok at Bold and Beautiful Coffee Bar
now
as
to get
well.
on TikTok. And so, listen, you guys have made it to the end. We don't leave you without a special surprise. Y'all know this. So, Dionna, you have a surprise for us? A special,
I do.
a little something for the people?
For everyone that's viewing today, you get a special discount code. Your code is What's Brewing, which will be automatically applied at discount. What's Brewing, applied at discount. But I need you all to do me a favor. Right now, subscribe to Vendmae Brand Builders Podcast. Follow them on Instagram. Spread the word. They are doing something amazing. Shout them out. Vendmae Brand Builders Podcast. Follow them and subscribe. Thank you so much, Grace, for having me. Thank you.
You're welcome. Listen, can you also add COO of advertising for Vendmae to your to your list? You got a long list, but add that too. I just want to say thank you, and this has been awesome. I am really excited. I can't wait for everybody to implement all the things that you talked about. And brand builders, that's all. I can't keep her all day. That's all the time we have for today. I want to thank you for listening, for tuning in as we let our guards down, serve truth up, and stand on business, the good, the bad, and the better. That's all we have time for today. Bye, guys. Get your coffee.